What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Get Certified. For those of you who don't know my name is Manak, and I'm here as your guide for your next ABAP certification. Well, so in this video, we are gonna continue with our UI tools for the new SAP Debugger. So, before starting, if you have still not subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do it and hit thumbs up button. So let's talk about a little bit more about the different UI tools which are available for the new ABAP debugger. So in this, let's talk about a little bit the context menu which are available for table. So for us, let's talk about this internal table which we created to store all the details of material number from this standard table Mara. So let's go ahead and double click. So we have it in our variable fast display, which is the screen. We double click on this, and here we have a huge number of options, a huge number of operations that we can do in our table. So right about here, you go ahead and right click on your mouse. The first option which is available to you is change table content, which has the basic crude operation, which is change, delete, append, insert, delete. Select a row and delete the complete table. The next is the columns. So you have a variety of options for you to set your width or optimize your column width. So based on your functionality, you can do that. And the last option is copy columns to buffer, which is a temporary storage. Yeah, so if you select this option, you can actually store your columns into a temporary memory, in a temporary buffer specifically. And then what you do is wherever you need the values again, you can just click on insert columns from buffer, so it'll help you copy the values from there to your current table. So it's just like copy and paste just into a table point of view. And you have more options which I talked to you about in the last, which is service of the tool. So you can click this and you will have many more options for this table particularly. So you have again the options to upload a file from your computer, from a computer into the SAP system. You can save your file, you can save it in a file from the table into your system. So as you see, I mean, based on your needs, you can actually there are some options which are same, which you could have seen from the context menu of the table. So this is a tool of a service option. And then let us talk a little bit about the tools and the options which are available to us at this level. So let's take a quick look into a breakpoint. So I will explain with an example of breakpoints and assertions, but you can insert a breakpoint, instruct a breakpoint to skip a number of occurrences before stopping. So what you need to do is you can simply enter the number of skips in the skip column, which is right here. Any positive number between 0 to 2 to the power 32 to prevent the breakpoint from stopping. Well, you can change a breakpoint to active or inactive by simply deleting or by deleting the breakpoint. So if you delete the breakpoint, it becomes inactive. In addition, you can also edit conditional and unconditional checkpoints using the breakpoint tool. So basically what you do is you can set conditional checkpoints in the source code using the asserts statement, which we are going to talk in the next upcoming minutes. So this is where you would put your condition, and the unconditional checkpoints are used by using the breakpoint statement. So unconditional using breakpoint and conditional using assert statements. This have the effect that programs will be continued only if a present condition is fulfilled. These checkpoints can be searched for active or deactivated. As with breakpoints, watch points are placed in the program that instruct the ABAP runtime processor to interrupt the program execution at a particular point. Well, in contrast to breakpoints, however, watch points do not activate debugging mode until the contents of the specified field change. Well, you can only define the watch points within the debugger, unlike the breakpoints, which you can do it at the level of your program of the report. Watch points like breakpoints, there's another difference, are user specific and do not affect other users running the same program. Unlike the classical debugger, which has a limit of 10 watch points, there are no limit on the number of consecutive watch points in the new debugger. Well, if you set a watch point for a field without specifying a related or without specifying a relational operator or comparison value, what it'll do is the program will continue to execute until the contents of the field change. So if you specify a relational operation or a comparison value when you define a watch point, the program execution continues until that specified condition you mentioned is met. You can use watch points to display changes to reference of strings, data, or objects, or even for internal tables. So we can let's have a look on how to create a watch point. So you have a option right about here, so which you can click, and then you can mention the name of the watch point. Just to give you an example, but let's say LV a variable, and then what we can do is well, we do not have the variable, but we can enter a condition out here. So say for example greater than say greater than 50. We enter this condition, so the variable LV variable 1 should be greater than 50, and we create a watch point. So the program will stop exactly where the value is greater, where the value of this variable is greater than 50, and it will stop right at that point. But since we do not have, just to give you an example, I showed this, but since we do not have any such variable for this particular report, so it would have showed that no variable found. Just remember a couple of points regarding the debugger. The first point is about the static debugger. So basically there is a keyword which is called breakpoint, which is break and point. So there should be there you go. So this keyword actually inserts a user-dependent breakpoint as an ABAP statement in the source code, so you can directly add this in your source code and the program will break exactly at that point. There is another keyword which is called a break, and then you can use the username. So basically what this does is you the statement break the statement which sets a user-dependent breakpoint in the source code. So these are two ways to statically define breakpoints in a program, and then dynamically, as I already showed you, you can directly either in the debugger, you can double click on the line and it'll actually, well, breakpoint cannot be set out here because this is not an executable statement, this is just a definition. So you can double click on, say for example, the select statement, so it dynamically sets the breakpoint right about here. So there's that, and you can as well as if you want, you can delete it if you click once. So that's the second important point. And the breakpoints for statements or subroutines or function modules or methods are actually interrupts the debugger interrupts the program directly before the specified statement is executed. So that's an important point. And the breakpoints for exceptions and system exceptions, the debugger the program directly after runtime error is raised. So that was some of the important tools of the new ABAP debugger. Let us talk about assertions and breakpoints now. Checkpoints define places in a program where the program state can be tested during execution. So basically a breakpoint statement represents an unconditional checkpoint. In this case, the program execution is unconditionally interrupted at this point in the program, and the debugger is started. Assertions are another form of checkpoints, which you can use to basically implement conditional checkpoints within your program. So what an assertion does is it checks whether a defined condition is satisfied or not. So you can use the assertion by using the assert statement as a conditional checkpoint. Well, both assertions and breakpoint statements are either always active or can be activated using the checkpoint group. When the program reaches an active assertion that you set, what it does is it evaluates the corresponding condition or the logical expression. If no checkpoint group is assigned to a failed assertion, the default behavior is for a runtime error to be produced. If, however, the condition is violated, the program terminates with a runtime error, accesses the ABAP debugger, or creates a log entry. Otherwise, the program continues with the next statement. Well, if you assign the assertion to a checkpoint group, the program behavior is controlled by the corresponding activation settings that you mentioned of the checkpoint group. So you can also edit the unconditional checkpoint using the breakpoint tool, which is this tool right about here. So what you do is you go to your group specification, you right click, change activation, then go to assert, and then you can either stop, cancel, or active or inactive. For now this is inactive. So let us next see the new debugger customization and settings. Well, one of the main benefits of the debugger interface redesign is the option of making it configurable for your use. This provides you with the option of being able to see the views and their sizes as required. So as I told you, like using different tools, either maximize horizontally or vertically. You also have the ability to group certain views together and have them available at each restart of the new debugger. Well, in its current form, the debugger provides you with a flexible and designable interface with a total of 11 workspaces, as I already told you, or desktops as they are called, and depending on your selection, you can have up to 4 tools simultaneously in each of this work area. Their sizes also can be fixed individually. So there you go, you can play with the different sizes. And the first 3 desktops, you specify the layout which you want to have when you start your debugger. So what you do is you go to layout and it'll give an option if you want to save the layout. Then you click yes, and then you can actually save this layout, and every time you launch your debugger, so this layout of your desktop 3 will be displayed. So there you go. In the next video we are going to talk about the flow buttons, which are these flow buttons, and we are going to talk about a little bit the remaining portion of the UI. As usual, I'm going to have a small quiz ready for you guys. You can answer to those questions and test your knowledge, how much you're progressing in ABAP. So yeah, so that would be it for this video, and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and as usual, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the thumbs up button. So see you in the next one, guys.